Hey everybody, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Marja, and today I'm going to make a traditional one-pot dish. It's a traditional Korean one-pot dish called Dakdoritang. It's a little complicated, but it's really a spicy chicken stew. And the base of the stew is chicken, potatoes, carrots, and onion, which I've already kind of semi-prepared here. The sauce is comprised of a Korean red pepper paste. It's called Gochujang, and it's aged and fermented, and it adds a sweetness and a bit of a base layer of savory. With it, it can tend to be on the sweet side if you don't balance it well with other ingredients. So I'll get to those ingredients later. I'm just gonna prep a little bit. I made these carrots. So I'll show you, there's a little special thing I do with the carrot in terms of its shape that I think makes a bit of a difference in the presentation of it. And it just, it adds a little fun to it, so. Can I get that cleaned up? All right, so I'm going to now cut these in about 2-inch pieces. And then, where's my peeler? I like to make the edges a little bit round like this. This is a little rounded. I just find that it just looks really pretty when you plate it later for your guests. So I just take the peeler and I go around it and just take off the hard edge there. Don't worry, I'm not gonna waste it. I give it to my little dog for dinner. I would say with the onions, I would cut them about 1/2 inch, oh, that's really big. Well, 1/2 inch thick, pieces like that. And you want it chunky because this is going to braise for a long time. Now we'll just quarter up the potatoes. I don't want them too small and I don't want them too big. I like to use yellow Yukon potatoes for these because they're a bit waxy and they hold up nicely during the long braising process. So now we'll get those back in the water because I'm not going to use it for a little bit because I need to put my sauce together. Before I do that, I'm just going to make sure I season this chicken with a little bit of salt and pepper. Not too much because there's plenty of salt in the actual dish itself. You want to use chicken with the bone in. It's going to give a lot of juice and keep the meat moist while it's cooking all this time. So definitely get bone-in chicken, but if you're in a hurry, you can do this with just boneless chicken as well. All right, so we'll get the sauce together now. All right, so now we're going to assemble the sauce. I would suggest putting the garlic, and I have a bit of ginger in here, about a 1-inch piece that I've sliced. This is about a cup of garlic, 3/4 of a cup of garlic. You'll see as you do this recipe if you want to add more or less. So I'll put that in the blender. And then I'm going to put 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of fish sauce. This is Korean rice syrup, and it's slightly sweet, but it also just gives like a nice glaze when you're braising dishes without adding a lot of additional sugar. So just put that in there. And now we're going to put in the gochujang, the red pepper paste. So I like to put this last because when you put this in first in the blender, which I've done plenty of times, it just sticks to the bottom and I have to scrape it and scrape it. So I found that this trick works the best. I'm using a VitaPrep today. You can use a food processor or blender, whatever you have handy. Completely blended. Even if you have big chunks, it's not a big problem because it'll cook down. So I'll put this to the side for a second, and I'm just going to dump everything in. Now, I need a spoon. Okay. So now I'm going to put everything together in the pot. Like I said, it's my favorite one-pot dish. You don't even have to brown it off or sear it before. hand, so that's always easy. And you can make this paste ahead of time and even keep it up to like a week, 2 weeks in the fridge. All right, let's get it. Is that still in the shot?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay, so everything's in there. The chicken's there. We're gonna add the potatoes. Carrots. And then lastly, I mean it's not lastly, this is the next step we have to do. Alright, so we have everything in there. Now we're just gonna pour over our sauce. Alright, so scrape the last bits of it out. Alright. Usually I'd use my hands, but it would look like a massacre if I did that right now. So, just mix it as best we can. And lastly, we're gonna add about 3 tablespoons of water just to get it going a little bit. And you'll be surprised how much moisture comes out of the vegetables and the bones from the chicken. So we're going to put this on the stove now and get it started. At this point, you're going to turn the flame to medium and then give it a minute or two. And when it starts to simmer, you'll turn the flame down to low and cook it low and slow for 1 hour and 15 minutes.